Morning, good morning. You are now tuned into another edition of It's Too Early for All That. I am your humble host, Jay, filmmaker, animator, and your guide for everything under the sun. I've got coffee in hand, excitement in my heart, and I'm ready to kick the day off with some fresh, hot takes. And I've got with me none other than my right-hand man, Lee. How are you doing today, my good Mike?
I forgot to shave today.
All right. That's what's up. Speaking of what's up, Denzel Washington reveals a gay scene was cut from the upcoming Gladiators 2. He said, quote, "I kissed a man in the film, but they took it out. They cut it. I think they got chicken. I kissed a guy full on the lips, and I guess they weren't ready for that yet." So what are your thoughts on the quote from the GOAT, giving a little tongue action to another man on screen? What are your thoughts?
I don't know, but I feel like I can infer your thoughts based on the intensity of he kissed a man on screen. He made him do that shit. I don't know.
My GOAT.
Because it's like, okay, so being a middle-aged, younger black dude, I can't get my mind out of like what every, like what my culture thinks. Culture thinks all the fucking time. I'm already imagining the older black dudes going like, they did that shit. It's a conspiracy. They did that shit just to have that film to like to have something over him. They made him. They got him. They finally got Denzel. They made him kiss a dude, and it's like, yeah. I mean, like he might even feel like that a little bit. It was just like I was, pushing my boundaries. They made me do a scene that I might have been a little uncomfortable with, and surprise, surprise, it got cut. Huh? Who's got that in it?
At the end of the day, Denzel has been making $30 million a movie since we were children. So I don't think this is a money thing for him. I think he's like entering his actor theater era where he doesn't really care about box office anymore. But the beautiful thing about Denzel is I don't think you can make him do anything he doesn't want to do. But in the words of my little brother, who everything is a conspiracy theory, and Alex Jones was right about it, 2 words: humiliation ritual.
That's it.
Humiliation ritual. This is what this is. This is what I'm going to charge it to the game and say it's a humiliation ritual. They got to my boy, the GOAT, and they got him to do something funky on camera. Am I glad they cut it? I don't know. Would it have progressed the story? It's a story set in Roman times. So something probably pivotal did happen because of the kiss. Because they were all a little fruity back then. You literally, like, if you read the history of it, you won a 12-year-old boy if you won the Olympics. So you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Was it a part of the story? Probably. But I don't want to see Denzel slobbering down a dude. I'm just being real. He's the GOAT. I don't want to see him kiss another man. That's just me.
No, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I know what it is for sure. It's just, like, if I'm being real, it probably didn't test well. They did it in focus groups and shit. As soon as they showed that scene, the people were like, not even that. I think it's just that Denzel Washington doing it.
That's why I said ill, because women threw cups at the screen.
I feel like just anyone would do, like, not even in a homophobic way. It's just sort of like, it says, the same as if they did like, it felt too much like a ploy because you're too associated with a certain vision of Denzel in your head. It'd be the same if they did that shit with
Brad Pitt.
I was gonna say George Clooney.
Nah, he could kiss 10 men. I wouldn't care. I'd be like, nah. But I say Brad Pitt because I look up to Brad Pitt.
But like, if I don't, well, that's not even what I'm saying. I'm saying with George Clooney, that example was more of like it would feel so disingenuous almost, given his profile. Gotcha. You would just look at it like, all right, this is that. I don't believe in that whole like pandering thing that they always like. That side always accuses like Hollywood of doing, or entertainment in general of doing, but with a George Clooney, Denzel Washington style like profile kiss, then you in a movie you just go, yeah, okay, this sort of feels like that.
Agreed. It's like if Brad Pitt were to just break out and kiss a man on screen, I'd be like,
didn't he do that with Tom Cruise in the gay vampire movie? Aren't they gay? Oh wait, no, they took the gayness out of that movie. That's
they took the gayness out.
Yeah. That's in the show.
Yeah, they took the gayness out. What did Norm Macdonald say? Not gay enough. That was his only critique of the original 90s. Yeah. So, hey, I don't know. I'll probably get maybe it'll be on the DVD director's credits or something. Who knows?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. For the Denzel kiss, yeah, and Gladiator too. Yeah. Sorry, I was thrown off for a little second.
Humiliation Ritual.
Humiliation Ritual.
Okay, so James Bond producer Barbara Broccoli says they are looking for a male in their 30s for the next James Bond. They are open to the idea of Bond being a person of color. Who would you personally like to see casted as Bond?
Who would I want? Could I see as Bond? I feel like I thought about this before. Yeah. I had like a good answer. Sorry, go ahead. Do you have one off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, okay, I'm looking at a few options, and I don't, you got people like Cillian Murphy and Cillian Murphy, Tom Holland, no, Chris Hemsworth, no,
Theo James.
I can see Theo James, the podcaster.
Is that
the podcaster? Oh, I thought you were talking about Theo, the Country Hillbilly podcast.
I might have said the wrong name. Let me make sure.
No. You said the right guy. Yeah.
Okay. Who is Theo James? Just so we're making sure.
I'm thinking of Theo Vaughn.
Theo Vaughn, the fucking hillbilly. No, not fucking.
Theo Vaughn is Bond.
That'd be hilarious, though. That
would be amazing,
bro. You know what that would be? That would be like the early 2000s fucking movie. Like if his career started back then, like got hot then. That's the movie they would have put him in back then.
I would love Theo Vaughn. Now I got to see that movie. Theo Vaughn as James Bond. I have to see that.
Yeah. Fucking crazy parody movie. Look, he talks like a fucking hick. This is 007. Yeah. Come have fun.
Personally, I'm not really big on making Bond a black guy or a Hispanic guy or anything like that. If he was younger, I would. If I were to do that, though, I would love to see Devin, the guy from Monkey King. I would love to see him as Bond.
Oh, Dev Patel.
Dev Patel. I would love to see Dev Patel, but I'm not big on like making Bond a person of color, just because I know how much hatred is going to come towards his way.
Yeah, and I agree on the Dev Patel.
I don't want him to experience that. But Dev Patel would be an amazing.
I'd fucking love that dude. I don't know what it is about him. I went to go see The Green Knight just because of how cool he looked in the trailer.
Why overthink it? Just cast Henry Cavill and move on. Shit. What the fuck are we doing?
Shit.
Like,
right.
Yeah. Just cast Henry Cavill. Let's move on. Like, why are we even talking about it? Like, why are we
I don't know if that motherfucker's like suave enough for that though. But you know what? He'd make it work.
He can do it, bro. He can do it.
I still see if they were like because whenever they're talking about like the Black Bond, it was always Idris Elba that came up. I still see him. Mm-hmm. I'm still like he's the only one I can actually see.
But his Bond would be really fun. But the reason why they won't cast him, I don't think he wants to do it anymore. Just because
I don't think he wants to. Yeah,
he doesn't want to do it anymore. He's like 50 something. He's not feeling it. He's like, next 10 years I'm gonna be jumping out of stuff. Oh no, and that's why he has Luther. I don't know. You might not watch.
Yeah, but I know about Luther in the movies and everything.
That's his vehicle. That's his Bond. And he knows that, so he develops it, and he makes the movies, and they're like Bond level, and they're really good mysteries, and that's his baby that he can protect and do whatever he wants, and he doesn't get any flack because he is John Luther. So, if you want to have something like that, you have to just go create your own, so you don't get a lot of racism thrown at you just for existing.
Right on.
Yeah, but just cast Henry Cavill. What are we doing? He should have been Bond 5 years ago. What are we doing? Yeah.
I don't know. Like he makes sense, but I also like something about him. I can't fully see it, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. Yeah,
you should check him out in the Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah, he looked cool in that.
No. Like if you think he can't play Bond.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, if you don't think he can play Bond, you should watch him in that one. He's great.
Is he charismatic in that movie? Or is he just the heavy?
Hell no, he's just the biggest douche you could think of. It's hilarious the way he plays it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, would that work for Bond though?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But there's like this scene in the if you watch it, you'll get it, right? Like there's a scene in Mission Impossible where like Tom Cruise falls out of this plane like at this high altitude, and he took the tutorial where you have to like put the mask on or you pass out, and Henry Cavill's character was like, yeah, yada yada yada, I got it, I've done this before, but he wasn't listening and he didn't connect it. He passed out in the air. So Tom Cruise has to like connect his air thing in the air before they land and like open his parachute so that he can land and not die. And so here he opens it, Henry Cavill like lands safely, and then Tom Cruise barely gets his open and almost like crashes into the ceiling and dies. And then like when he lands, he rolls. And then Henry Cavill like lands safely, and he's like looking at Tom Cruise like, dude, you're such an amateur. And Tom Cruise is like, it's like
the dude didn't even realize he passed out.
Yeah, he didn't even realize he passed out. It's like really funny how douchey he is. It's funny. It's funny, man. It's really funny. But yeah. Speaking of characters not getting appreciated, I want to talk about Daisy Ridley's character, Rey Skywalker, in the Star Wars films. They announced today that they're going to be creating a few more Star Wars films with her character in the mix. How does that make you feel? I know you're a big Star Wars buff. Does that get you hot or not?
If anything, I feel like they should just redo from everything I've heard, because I haven't watched them. But leave The Force Awakens as canon. Just say fuck it. We're actually just gonna redo the last two. Like episodes 8 and 9 didn't happen. But those were a dream, or like it was some alt universe shit. Just fuck it. Find a way to just like cut them out and do 2 other ones with J.J. Abrams actually like overseeing it from the beginning. Not that he had the best ideas for it, just so that there's a unified vision for 2 movies instead of giving it to someone.
I have a question. You bring up a great point. You bring up a great point. I have a question. If I remember this correctly, when it was first announced, he was supposed to oversee all 3 of the films, correct?
No.
When it was supposed to do his one and dip?
He was, the whole thing was, because I remember Force Awakens, he was supposed to just do that and leave, because his whole thing was he didn't even really want to do that, because he was saying he's more of a fan of Star Wars and wants to see the next Star Wars thing, not be involved in it, from what I remember. So if there's like a different timeline, somebody will fucking let us know. But yeah, that's what I remember him saying. That was his main thing. So his whole thing was just going to be, I want to do The Force Awakens, let it start, and then you guys give it to someone else. And they're like, okay, cool. Like, that's why, from what I've heard, Force Awakens is such a sequel / reboot of like the whole Star Wars franchise.
Am I excited for Rey to come back? I would like for them to develop it out, and I want her to I want her to actually have a soul this time. I don't know. I felt like Rey was I just never could get into her character. Like I didn't dislike her character, but I never really like rooted for her when I watched the films. Does that make sense?
I didn't get it.
It just felt like everything was just easy. Like I never really saw her struggle, and I didn't really like see myself in her character. Like, like I watch films, especially Star Wars films, because I connect with the heroes. And with Rey, I just never really connected with her character. I didn't really connect with any of them, to be honest with you. I didn't like the way they portrayed Finn. After the first one, he just became a shell of himself. A lot of the plot points were just weird in all 3 of the Star Wars. So I hope that they can come back and fix everything as far as the characters and do some good movies, because her powers are there to make a really good story. Her lore is there, but they need. I see why she's coming back. Other than the fat ass paycheck, it's going to be cool to see if they can nail it right this time. So that's what I'm excited to see. Yeah,
it has to be
she's a cool character though.
Yeah, but there has to be an overarching thing. It has to be serialized in a sense for a Star Wars thing to work. Like it has to be either a show, or if you're doing movies, it has to be a movie or something that is going to be a series of movies that you already plotted out ahead of time.
I agree. It has to be 3 solid film ideas, Because like, what was it? Empire Strikes Back leads into Return of the Jedi, and Return of the Jedi picks up right where Empire Strikes Back left off. Like obviously it was thought through. I agree
Yeah.
with that 100%.
Well,
I agree with
yeah.
that
I think the last
100%.
two were. The first one was just like its thing, because like I think that's what he was maybe trying to hit on J.J. Abrams with his whole Force Awakens thing, like help bring it back to how that same thing that the original Star Wars was, and then from that jumping off point, get someone that can just plot out what the universe is going on, like what is going on in the universe right now, and get the next two out. But like actually plot out the next two. The whole thing that they did with which one was the Ryan Johnson one? I think it was called The Last
That's
Jedi.
Your Last Jedi.
Yeah, that
Totally
they should.
different tone.
Yeah, they
Totally
should have just
different
given him,
tone.
if they were going to do that. If that's what you were going to make Star Wars, you should have just given him two or signed him on for two instead of just going like, all right, one, and then we'll go to a different guy. Like it's not going to work like that, especially if you give
Yeah.
the first guy that much creative freedom to do whatever he wants with the
And
story.
he brings it back with that much nostalgia to the, I agree, because it was like the films felt like the movie VHS, the horror film. I don't know if you've ever seen it,
Yeah,
but they're
I've
just
heard
like
of it.
it's
I
like
haven't seen.
compilation. They're like one horror movie, but they're compilation shorts and different directors. That's how Star Wars felt. It felt like three different people's interpretation of what Star Wars was. And to follow up, the first one, Force Awakens, with was the Last Jedi. It didn't even feel like the same. That nothing felt the same, So I just want some more cohesion. I just want more cohesion from like one director. Like treat it like the Harry Potter movies. Like towards the end, I think it ended up having like one director that did the last 4 or 5 of them, and he brought cohesion to the story. You have the collective assent.
Yes.
Yes. All right. What's your topic, bro?
Oh, okay. Those are two. Okay. A discussion. So I pose a question to you, which is which Hanna-Barbera property, old school Hanna-Barbera cartoon, would you reboot if you could?
Reboot. I have like autonomous control. I can do whatever I want with it.
Yeah, full creative control. It's like a full-on reboot. You can do whatever you want with the property.
Give it the Velma treatment. Got it. Let me see. Oh man. You got shows like Yogi Bear, Huckleberry Hound, Tom and Jerry, Top Cat, Johnny Quest.
Because I was going to restrict it to action cartoons. Because like I wanted to but I wouldn't have much to say about Herculoids and shit. But I like the way Herculoids look, so I would love to see that back in some sort of way. Same thing with like Birdman or Space Ghost.
If I had to choose, I probably would choose Hong Kong Phooey, just because it's so random. One. It's so random. You can do whatever you want. Hong Kong Phooey or the Secret Squirrel Show, and I remember I used to watch that.
I was gonna bring up Secret Squirrel. That sort of got rebooted. I remember loving the reboot. And
I like
Two Stupid Dogs.
Secret Squirrel. Okay. That's where I know the character from. Okay.
Which one?
Yeah, Secret Squirrel.
Oh yeah. He had his own cartoon. There was an older art style, but that I would watch. I can't remember. I think I want to say it was his own show. Because I think it was like him, Adam Ant, Underdog, when it came to like superpowered animals back in the day and shit.
So many. Like this whole style is just copy on copy on copy.
Johnny Quest, there's a bunch of shit you can do. To answer my own question, I'm going to cheat. Because I was going to say one thing. I was going to say, like, because I love The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest, which is a reboot of Johnny Quest.
Okay.
Because if you guys don't know, look up the theme song for The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. That is the hypest shit you will listen to. It's epic as fuck. But if I could, I would do like a whole animated expanded universe, sort of like the DCAU was back in the day for DC Comics or DC animated shit. I would do that with the Hanna-Barbera, like Space Ghost, Birdman, even though I'm pretty sure they'd be in different time periods, but like Herculoids, even like even Johnny Quest and Blue Falcon have them in like some shared universe shit. Because they like it's just weird. Like, I think it's because they're all owned by Warner Brothers, so Warner Brothers is just focused on the DC shit that they own. I want to say that's
so
right.
many options to choose from.
Well, who owns Hanna-Barbera cartoon shit? I want to say it's Warner Brothers.
It's Ted
Turner.
Ted Turner.
Yeah, but
Ted Turner. It's Cartoon Networks. Cartoon Networks is I don't know.
It's William. Yeah, Turner Broadcasting, William Street, all that.
Yeah, all that. Yeah, it's owned by a billionaire.
Some guy, some motherfucker that has a lot of money.
Some billionaire. Yeah, some billionaire. All right. So this is the Thursday edition of It's Too Early for All That. Hope you have a great weekend. Yeah, a lot of stuff happening this weekend. UFC fights, all types of stuff.
Right.
Find something and have fun. Don't let the week get you down too much.
Or do. I don't give a fuck.